that the sound's working.
No dramas, mush. Oh, please say I saved that.
Have you saved it?
I have.
That's a result,
Beautiful.
isn't it?
Just like that, we're live. Good evening, all. Obviously, we wasn't planning a stream tonight, but the British Speedway AGM news is now out, and we've got some reactions of it. So I'm just joined by Mr. Dill tonight. Dill, how are we doing?
A lot less rough than last night, Mush. A lot less rough.
And it just goes without saying this will be a much easier listen than what me and Alan gave you last night, and I do apologise for that. So,
Yeah, it was something.
Mr. Dill, would you like to introduce us to the Premiership?
So the Premiership rules pretty much the same as last season overall. The same 7 clubs are in the Premiership with Bellevue, Birmingham, Ipswich, Kingsley, Leicester, Oxford and Sheffield. With a points limit of 40 for the top 6 plus a rising star. I think that's the same as last season. I don't think too much has changed there. Palmer, the first sort of big talking point before we come on to other things. Kings Lynn have changed their regular race night from Thursday to Monday.
I'm not surprised. Obviously, there's big talks of the Polish Second League going to Thursday nights, or them using up some Thursday nights in the British calendar, and with how Kings Lynn normally like to build a team, I think that's a smart move. Buster making a smart move in 2024. I never thought I'd see the day.
And it has been cited as it'll be something to help out with the planning of fixtures. And because there was a lot of Thursday teams, but only Bellevue and Birmingham ran as a primary Monday night track, so it evens it out just a little bit more. Rather than 5 and 2, it now makes it 4 and 3 in Thursday's favour.
Yeah, it just makes sense, doesn't it? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, Monday's the most depressing day of the week anyway, so why not make it more depressing by a trip to Kings Lynn?
Another thing that has been spoken about, there is the talk and the idea and proposal of doing more bank holiday double headers. I know, being a Wolves fan for many years, that was something Wolves used to do, a bank holiday double header with Bellevue, where they'd be at Bellevue in the afternoon and back at more of the evening. This season, I think it was Sheffield and Bellevue that did the double header.
I don't think there was a double header this year. Oh no, there was. It was Sheffield and Bellevue. It was quite late on in the year.
Yeah, there was. I do like a bank holiday double header.
It's a good initiative. However, as much as I loved having double headers at Scunny back in the day. In this day and age, in this current climate, for a supporter doing 2 meetings a week is a massive hit. Never mind 2 meetings in a day. It's a good idea if it's relatively local. Then fair enough. But you don't want to be going. I don't know. You don't want to be doing Birmingham versus Ipswich on a double header, do you?
I think it'll be more local teams, so you may get Bellevue and Birmingham would be my guess, or Sheffield and Birmingham for that one. I think you've got to be reasonably sensible about how you plan them out, ain't you? Or if a club's got a
Yeah.
National League, team, I don't know, maybe have a Premiership in the afternoon and a National League meeting on the evening at A track if the Premiership team's not racing. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, 100%.
Um, what else has come out? The Knockout Cup has been slightly changed this season. 7 teams took part in the Knockout Cup with, well, 6 took part in the first stages of it with a team getting a bye.
Did
Or was it 2
um,
teams got a
I
bye?
don't think anyone got a bye, did it? Because Oxford didn't ride in it last year.
Oxford didn't ride in. No, they chose not to, didn't they? This year, all 7 Premiership clubs are riding, and Poole are going to make up the eighth team, so that everybody will have a first round tie. So Poole will be competing in 2 knockout cups, the Premiership and the Championship. Palmer,
Then
do you
they
think?
walk, then they walk away with 2 knockout cup trophies.
Yeah. Do you think this could potentially be Poole dipping their toe back in the water for a potential move
Um,
up?
I, I don't think that's in their planning.
Hmm.
Because I'm sure I've read somewhere that they've stated financially, um, they're doing better in the championship than what they ever was in the Premiership.
Hmm.
I think it's a genius idea. Um, and you could maybe see you like to Ben Cook and Tom Brennan back guesting for Paul. But yeah, I like the idea. It brings what many people expect the level Paul should be at. It gives them a chance to actually really mix it up with the big boys
Yeah,
again.
that's it. And the small print, I suppose, for that is they'll be given the concession to build a Premiership level team whilst keeping the majority of their Championship team. If it clashes with another Premiership team, i.e., wherever Richard Lawson ends up racing, if he were to be racing on the same night of Pool's meeting or against, then the Premiership team would take priority over the Pool team for that knockout cup fixture.
Yeah, I do think it is a very good idea. I'm glad it's Paul that took it and not the 2023 Cup winners because we'd have no hope.
Yeah, yeah. Paul have got every opportunity of sort of building on it, and then actually giving it a real go and trying themselves. I know it won't necessarily be an exact Pool team, but the majority of their Championship team plus a couple of big hitters. Just to see
Mm.
how they do get on against Premiership standard opposition.
And let's be honest, Richard Lawson and Zach Cook, who they've already got signed, you expect to see them in the Premiership, don't you?
Yeah.
Anyway,
The draw has also been done for the Knockout Cup. Birmingham will face Leicester in the Midlands Derby. Poole will face Sheffield. That should be tantalising. That gives Poole
I,
fans the opportunity to see the Holder boys back at Wimborne Road and Ty
nice,
Woofenden
uh,
potentially.
nice little local derby that for Paul in it.
Yeah, just a little bit. Kings Lynn will face Oxford.
Oxford.
Oxford have opted into the Knockout Cup at both levels this year, which is a positive.
Mm,
Bellevue will face
good stuff.
Ipswich in the first round, and the ties all to be raced in the same week. The semi-finals will then be Birmingham or Leicester versus Poole or Sheffield, and Kings Lynn or Oxford versus Bellevue and Ipswich. There's some really good looking ties there.
There is. Some of them look tastier than an Indian kebab on a Monday night.
With curry sauce.
Oh yes.
The less said about
Um,
that, the better.
but yeah, no, some very very interesting ties there. If it if they work out and they're on bank holidays or whatever, I might make a trip up to one of said meetings.
While we're on the subject of the Premiership, there is a completed Premiership team already. Should we just have a quick look through the teams and riders that have already been announced and where they're going to be riding in the Premiership next season?
Is it not just Ipswich plus all the rising stars so
No,
far?
Oxford have got two, haven't they?
Oh, I forgot about them.
So obviously the Rising Stars. Bellevue have got Jake Mulford. Birmingham Jason Edwards. Ipswich have got Jordan Jenkins. Kings Lynn have got Ashton Berrigan. Sam Hagens at Leicester. Luke Killian at Oxford and Leon Flint at Sheffield. Oxford have also named the return of Rowan Tungate, and Ipswich have confirmed their full lineup
That we
of
have.
and their full lineup is Emil Saivudanov, Dan Thompson, who gets a 25% average reduction for graduating the Rising Star, Danny King, Adam Ellis, Jason Doyle, and the massive coup. This is difficult as a Brummie, with Tom racing for Brum last year and how well he did. Tom Brennan makes the switch to Vauxhall Parman. What does that team look like for you on paper?
If that team does not win the Premiership, Ipswich never will. It's it it just obviously we don't know the makeups of the other teams, but you just like that team. It excites you. It makes you want to get out of the house. It makes you want to go and watch them, not just at home but away. I mean, I know I live like an hour away from Sheffield, but that team makes me want to go to watch them at Sheffield. Bloody hell, they make me want to travel 4 hours on the train to go and watch them at home. Do you know what I mean? It's a very very good outfit, and if they can keep injury free, then I can't see why they won't be in the playoffs.
The one concern for Ipswich fans will be that Jason Doyle has pulled out of the Australian Championship Series because he's still not fit.
Yeah, that's quite a concern for Witches fans, but hopefully it's still on the mend and it can be ready come March April time.
That's the Premiership looked at. Parma, do you want to take us away with the Championship changes for next season?
So the same 9 clubs start the championship in 2025 with Berwick, Edinburgh, Glasgow, Oxford, Plymouth, Poole, Redcar, Scunthorpe, and Workington all coming to the tapes again. There's a 40-point average limit for all 7 riders, and that's been set for the next 3 years, so no doubt it'll be changed halfway through next season. The knockout cup draws being sorted again, with the preliminary first round being Edinburgh versus Workington, with the quarterfinals being Scunthorpe versus Oxford, Berwick versus Redcar, Poole versus Plymouth. Much to Dan Winchester's absolute delight. Big up the Pirates. And then Glasgow versus the winners of Edinburgh versus Workington.
I don't know what
The
Dan's moaning about. Plymouth have already made the quarter-finals. They're further than Edinburgh and Workington. Potentially one of them is going to be.
Exactly.
That's a win.
It's you know, BSN series as was basically the same as last year, split into 3 different groups, with Berwick, Edinburgh, and Glasgow in the Scottish group, Redcar, Scunthorpe, Workington in the Northern group, and then Oxford, Plymouth, and Poole in the Southern group, with the top from each group and the best runner-up going into the semi-finals. The opening championship weekend will be on the 5th and 6th of April, with the championship pairs being brought from Oxford up to Workington on the 5th of April with a 3 o'clock start. And then, much to my delight, the Championship League Riders final is at Scunthorpe on the 6th of April, again starting at 3 o'clock. Other than that, there's not a massive amount to say about the Championship. It's virtually the same as.
It's just the points limit that's changed, and it. Dan Winchester's just sent me 2 laughing faces. I mean, see, even Winchester knows they've done well. They're in the quarterfinals. That's something to hang your hat on, Plymouth fans.
Well, I mean, look at the bright side, Winchester. Plymouth have got a meeting, and in the title of the meeting, it's got the word final in it. Always look at the bright side. It
Yeah,
don't matter about the words beforehand, it's got final in it.
the championship, the points limits are both in order. I know obviously the Premiership it's for 6 riders, and the Rising Star doesn't count for the Championship. It's for 7, but to see it increased from 38 to 40 for 7 can only be good for the Championship, unless you're a team that struggles to attract top riders. Some do, and then it could be a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, 100%. The average limit going up's only going to be a good thing. It can certainly make certain people say, "Well, Scunthorpe are cheating with their lineup now," which is always a good thing. But yeah, all very much the same, but positive at the same time.
That's pretty much all there is to say on the championship. There is a few more things that have been announced. I'll talk about the first one. Palmer, you want to do testimonials, and I'm sure we'll both have a chinwag about the last point that's been raised on here.
Go on then.
The success of the inaugural British Women's Open Championship at Leicester this year has meant that the meeting will again take place next year, which will coincide with a meeting of the British Youth Championship also taking place on the same day.
If Winchester's listening, entries are open now.
That can only be a good thing to see the women of British Speedway getting the opportunity to have a meeting all against each other again.
Yeah, 100%. And there's more and more girls coming into the sport now, which is what we need. And obviously, with the success of Selena leaving at Workington for 3/4 of a season, it does sort of make the girls' minds open a bit to think, well, we might have a future in this sport, so we'll ride in the Open Championships and Youth Championships and everything. So yeah, can only be a good thing for the future.
Do you want to touch on the next point?
So 4 riders have been granted testimonials in respect of their long service to British Speedway, and those are Ty Woofington, Nikolai Clint, Jason Doyle, and Ryan Douglas. And I would expect them meetings to happen. I'd expect Dougie's to be either at Scunthorpe or at Leicester. I'd expect Doyle's to be at Ipswich, Nikolai's at Kings Lynn, and Ty's at Sheffield, perhaps.
I mean, if Monmore was still going, I'd have imagined Woofy's would have been there. Yeah, he spent a fair portion of his career at Wolves, didn't he?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if Wolves was still racing, I'd expect Ty to be in that team now.
Yeah, and I think if it is you'd expect Woofy's to be at Sheffield now, which I think now's on the fact he'll probably be back with Sheffield as a rider this season as well.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I'd also expect, as you say, Nicola Clint to be back with Kings Lynn.
It just hand fits in hand, doesn't it? One of them.
Yeah, and the last one. Palmer, do you want to read this? This is an interesting one.
Referees. It has been highlighted that the increase in live transmission of meetings in the UK brackets TV and streaming has put referees under the spotlight more than ever before. The SCB made a presentation to the members of the BSP Limited whereby continued work with the Association of Referees will take place to assist the referees and to try and help the sport in all areas.
Is this then basically saying that referees are going to have VAR and specialist training to use it?
Maybe. Just maybe. They're having a course with the referees to be able to say, open your bleeding eyes and look at a screen when bikes are going round in the circles slower than normal so you can make a right decision. It's not exactly rocket science.
Do you want to quickly touch on the signings that have been announced in the championship so far?
Just you give me 2 seconds to get them up, because I don't think there's been many.
There is, and there's one
So
missing actually off the pool team
yes, there is. So
and the Oxford
we,
team.
as we go down the championship, then the returnees at the Berwick Bandits of Drew Kemp and Daniel Hume was announced last week or week before, with them absolutely hideous graphics. Edinburgh, Glasgow, Plymouth, and Redcar still yet to announce any riders. Obviously, Luke Colleen has been announced at Oxford. Tate Zishki was announced about 6 months ago at Workington. Luke Harrison has rejoined the Scunthorpe Scorpions. Zach Cook and Richard Lawson are rejoining the Pool Pirates for 2025.
There have been a couple of riders put out announcements that they won't be returning to certain clubs. Dan Thompson has announced he won't be back at Plymouth, and James Pearson announced yesterday he won't be back at Glasgow because of his racing commitments abroad. I do still expect James Pearson to race in British Speedway. He's just stated a Friday night track just wouldn't fit in with his plans.
No, 100%, and you can understand that.
Which would
Nobody
also rule
wants
out Edinburgh and Redcar and Scunner.
nobody wants to ride for Glasgow anyway, do they? So
That's very true. What do you make of them announcements? James Pearson, I don't think is a massive surprise. Obviously, he's cited his
no,
overseas commitments. Dan Thompson leaving Plymouth though, he's going to be a man in demand next
he
season, isn't
he's going to be a man with quite a lot of demand actually. And from speaking to him last week, actually, I know he's signed a deal elsewhere, and Joe's not fully fixed up yet. But he is expected to be somewhere. Who else has announced that they're not going? That they're moving to pastures new? Nathan Ablett,
Kyle Eworth did in the Premiership.
Kyle Howarth did in the Premiership. A bit of a shock move to see Kyle not at Sheffield, but it's probably best for both parties that he's not there this season.
Yeah, I think we can agree on that.
I do agree with his point he did in his little video when he says he's probably got a little bit stale at Sheffield now, and he was becoming a modern day Josh Orty.
Is that your words, not Kyle's?
That's my words, not Kyle's.
Yeah. Yeah, you can become a bit stale if you stay at one place, but you almost become comfortable, don't you? And then, you know, you feel like you don't maybe need to put in as much work because you're safe almost.
Yeah, pretty much. I think by the sounds of things, Kyle and the Bateses at Sheffield have, they've both agreed that it's not to be this year for him at Sheffield, but it sounds like they're on good terms, which is a big thing, and which is also very good.
That's probably about it for this one. We have got a plan for our next live stream. Palmer, do you wanna indulge us?
So, if you can remember, about a month or so ago, Workington had put a documentary style show thing out on the YouTube. Neither of us two have watched it yet, so that's going to be our next watch along, and I believe we're looking at Wednesday the 20th, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Of November. So that'll probably be our next video. And then we've got a few things in the pipelines for December as well.
Yeah, there will be our little chinwag sessions. Our first guest for that has actually now also been confirmed. It'll just be us talking to supporters of certain clubs around sort of British Speedway. The first guest will be representing Birmingham, or a fan of Birmingham. Me and you know him very well, Andy Dugmore.
What a boy!
What a
yeah,
boy.
looking forward to having Andy Andy on here. You know, there is a potential rider cat in there as well. One of our sponsored riders.
Yeah, we have got an idea for that as well, where
It's
we'll speak to a couple of the riders we're going to be sponsoring
I
once we
mean,
finalise deals.
I know one of them's desperate to come on, so
Oh yeah, Mr. Ingram.
but yeah, we'll sort something out with him for him to come on as well.
That'll probably be uploaded as a video though, that won't be done as a live stream. We'll pre-record that
Yeah.
and upload it onto YouTube and our Facebook page.
And if you don't like our Facebook page, go and like it now.
Yeah, yeah, that one. This half an hour's been nice and quick though.
It's not been painful like last night's half an hour was.
God,
Uh,
we've got to have our little AGM at some point as well to sort out what we're going to be doing next year, who we're going to be involving next year as well, and all of that fun stuff. So that'll be coming up over the winter, no doubt.
Yeah, busy times for us, but good times are coming.
Christmas is coming. We have also got a plan, like you said the other week, to do some kind of Christmas party stream. I don't know what that'll be yet. But
We did. I'm sure we set a date of the 18th for that as well,
yeah,
didn't we?
it'll be the week before Christmas.
So interesting times ahead.
For sure. I think that just about wraps us up then, Mush.
I believe it does. So massive shout out to everyone that joined us this evening. We know it was a bit short notice, but here we go. Yes, yeah. Again, thank you for joining us, and we will see you probably next Wednesday when we watch along to Workington's documentary.